background is I was a magazine editor. I started out as a fashion and beauty assistant at O Magazine, so I had this career in magazine publishing. I worked at 17, I worked at Vibe Vixen, I worked at pre-Suede before Suede was Suede, and then I went into philanthropy. And now, today, I've kind of evolved as a brand ambassador, spokesperson, TV personality, and a champion for women, ultimately. So I like to say that I'm a lifestylist because for me, it's not just about fashion and beauty, which I love, unapologetically so. But it's really about how you use fashion and beauty to make women feel like their best selves. You know, being passionate about women's issues, it's so natural and such a no-brainer for me. I will say this. One, I was raised by women, so let's start there. And you know, my family are public servants and they're committed to people and communities, so I think that was just a natural part of how I lived and how I thrived and what I learned. And then I went to an all-girls high school, and then I went to an all-women's college, Spelman College, and so I think all just naturally, being in those environments where you see how dynamic we can be, and unfortunately how sometimes society won't allow us to really showcase all of that amazingness that, you know, and then I like to talk. So then it's like, how can I use my voice, how can I use my talents and my gifts to really make sure that women feel proud, they're heard, and they're front and center as their best selves. My hometown is Newark, New Jersey, the bricks is what I like to say. I was born in Newark, fourth generation Newarker, raised in the Oranges, but I consider Newark my home. And if I had to take a visitor there, I would take them to the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. One of the most amazing performing arts theaters in the entire world, actually in the top 10 in acoustics. And Wynton Marsalis helped to establish the acoustics, and it's just an amazing place, and I'm also on the board there, so would proudly take them to NJPAC. A challenge is only a challenge when you see it as one, quite honestly. I think that we're all faced with obstacles at different times in life. But I would probably say both personally and professionally, if I had to have one that came together and there was a fusion. My grandmother, who helped raise me, my beloved Mary, fell and broke her neck 7 years ago. And at the time I was a spry and cute 28-year-old. At any rate, you know, because I wanted to be there to help take care of my grandmother, I really had a huge life shift professionally as well. And it was a time that I was actually starting my entrepreneurial track and having to really balance wanting to do all the things I wanted to do professionally with managing personally and family issues that were a priority to me. But the beautiful thing about that challenge, and I firmly believe this about most challenges, is that I saw myself stretch in a way that I don't think I would have ever thought possible. And to come out on the other side of it, you know, one, with greater love for life, and greater love and appreciation for pushing through and perseverance. Young people inspire me. They make me realize why it's so important to persevere, why it's so important to shine, because they're always looking. So that inspires me, and my grandmother Mary. I think I live by a lot of different things, but you know, my principles are all kind of anchored in the promise of God, and also the promise that I know that we all have within us to just be our most amazing selves. I'm Tai Beauchamp, and you're watching The H List on UPTOWN Unplugged.